So, I mean, if it's not going to kill you, you know, but the benefits are so wonderful. It really is.
So you hold it, and
so
then
you
what do
just
you do?
hold it up here, and you just hold
Breathe it in.
breathe it in, so that the warmth of the bancha tea is like melting that chalk. Is what it's
Right, you actually
doing.
get
I think.
liquid, you inhale liquid, in other words.
Right, but you
You
hold it in
sniff-
forever, or
Well,
you
no,
let it up?
you kind of just hold it in your nostrils, and you'll get better at it as you
Well,
do
after
it.
you hold it in your nostrils, then what do you do?
Well, then you flush it out. I mean, you just let it fall out of your nose, and that's when you see the phlegm come out.
You just go,
Yeah.
And if you give a little pressure behind it, it even more stuff falls out. You'd be surprised.
Jamie
all right, well,
Now,
that's
what
it.
about if you
Thank
have
you.
Jamie says it's like a nasal enema.
I heard that if you have a lot of like flour congestion in your chest and your lungs, you could use Amazake alcohol or apple juice. The 3 A's helps to discharge that. Have you?
Never, I would never do that. Amasake is way too.
Me either. Those things build
It's
up.
too sugary.
Yeah.
And apple juice is too sugary.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that at all.
Mm-mm.
No. I think the best thing is just a macrobiotic way of eating, because you're gonna get, I mean, I got a ton of mucus discharge when I started. I mean, a ton.
Me too.
Yeah, I wonder where it's all coming from.
I mean, you could do a ginger compress on your whole chest area too.
Yeah,
That helps a lot.
because you know. 'cause
It
that-
does.
Yeah, that helps.
That opens everything up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easier. The thing about the eucalyptus vapor is just a lot easier to do, because you're going to be doing your ginger compresses on your intestine. But you can do that. And ginger compresses are good for multiple uses, because they're very good for joint pain, back pain,
Yeah, any
knee
kind of pain.
problems, elbow problems.
Cora, do you use that book, or Herman Ihara's
Healing from head to toe.
Healing from Head to Toe? What I found that book is really, really good for is it has all of the plasters. It talks
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
mustard plaster,
Well,
the
so does
lotus.
Muramoto's book, and so does the one I use, is Macrobiotic Home Remedies. Like
Oh,
Kushi.
I have those also. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I-
But that one's in the back of that book. I know you have it over there. I saw it in your library.
Yeah, well, I
That's
have
why
a
I'm
copy
pointing
of
over
it.
there.
I have a copy.
But yeah, it's really descriptive.
So if you have
Yeah.
sinusitis, can you just do the eucalyptus thing instead of doing the taro thing?
Taro.
No,
You mean the
because the
lotus?
eucalyptus is for the bronchial tubes.
Oh, so it wouldn't help the sinus?
Well, it would definitely help, but it's best to do the sinuses. It's best to do the lotus root plaster.
Oh, lotus, I kept thinking taro, yeah, lotus root, yeah.
Right.
So Lotus Root in Chinatown.
Yeah.
You
so
sell it
it's-
right down here at Berkeley Bowl.
Oh, they do.
Right.
What I've done is just to pick up some eucalyptus leaves and simmer them and inhale the steam.
Mm.
Right. You could
So
do
you-
that too, because
Yeah.
eucalyptus is all over the place.
Yeah.
Right here. It's not up in Carson City.
Mm-hmm.
But it
I
is
don't
here.
even think it's not native here.
A long hike up a
Right.
mountain, and it's not
Eucalyptus.
breathing the eucalyptus air.
But it's not the same. It's not concentrated. the way-
No, but when you're
It's not gonna do
hiking,
you-
when you're breathing, aren't you
Well, sure,
discharging
but it's
when
not,
you're
yeah,
hiking?
sure, I mean, but I wouldn't, how many people are
I
gonna
mean,
be able to do that?
Not
I mean,
instead of, but as
it's-
well as, if
If
it's
you
healthy
want
enough.
to,
Yeah,
yeah, but if you want to, sure, I mean, I recommend people go for walks anyway,
yeah.
or hiking,
Yeah, every day.
yeah, definitely. So, now the other thing, in terms of symptoms, one of the key symptoms of lungs and large intestine stagnation is tight shoulders, tight here. So massage here is very good for helping your lungs. And also bending the thumb. Thumb is where the lung meridian comes out. So just bending it back, just doing this is going to help with your lungs. And that's just about it, I think. What else? Oh yeah, now the thing is about Umisho Kuzu drink. You always got to have that available. I don't recommend drinking it at all unless you're going through a detox. I don't recommend taking it on a regular basis at all, because it's too young. And you can make it either way you want, whether you want to make it with umi shokuzu by itself or umi shokuzu and ginger a little bit. It's up, you know, whether you, if you want to make it more yin, you add the ginger. If you want to not,
Doesn't it depend on what you're treating?
well, that's what I'm meaning. If you have more yin or more yang, so have that. But it's really excellent when you're going through a nasal discharge or a mucus discharge or a fever or headache. Now, depending on where the headache is. I mean, if the headache is back here or in here, then don't use the umi shokuzu drum, because the ones behind the eye are more yang and the ones in the back of the head are more yang. So you only use them for frontal headaches or headaches at the top here. And it's very good for that. And fevers, diarrhea, you know, upset stomach, etc., etc. But only use it as something that you use rarely. You only use it when you really need to use it. And then you're using it properly, because you know, I see people drinking it all the time, and it's not good. Because I've had to counsel people that have been drinking, you know, because Herman used to have it as morning tea at
Vegan.
Vega. And I remember a couple came to see me, and they were having all these problems with their back and their kidneys and this and that. And I said, you know, there's something, you must be doing something. And that's what they were, and after probing around and asking questions and whatnot, they were doing two things that were causing their kidneys to become so tight. And that was one of them. The other one, of course, was the salt bath.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you recommended the salt bath. So, salt bath for the kidneys is good, but you should use it very discreetly. I mean, not as a regular thing all the time, every week.
I mean, everything really in macrobiotics, I notice people like to, a lot of times, they think if a little is good for you, maybe a lot will be even better. Same with shiitake mushrooms and ume and, you know, everything.
And
Miso.
brown rice, for that matter,
Yeah.
eating too much brown
Yeah.
rice.
What does that
it's
do?
like,
It's
yeah,
this,
Too much
it's a
brown rice.
mentality of if a little's good for me, a lot must be really good for me.
right, that's just,
But it's not the-
but that's in a modern fallacy, you know,
What happens if you eat too much brown rice?
you get too young. Get tight,
I've
especially
been there.
here you know, especially in this region,
Been
the
there.
transverse colon
Is what?
gets tight when you eat too much brown rice. And that's where you see.
Because I've been
problems.
doing, like I said at the conference for the past year and now it's over a year and a half I've been doing, you know, 3 days a month doing the brown rice fast. But then I've been adding vegetables to it too.
Right. Now, we're not gonna, since we finished with the lungs, I think, not much more, I can't think of anything else to say about the lungs.
Oh, can I just say real quick, the tight shoulders, a real easy thing to do is if you do this with your hands and have your thumbs, and then you're moving your thumbs too, right? So that's good, and then you can give yourself a little shoulder massage that way. And you can
That's pretty
squeeze it, then squeeze it and get your neck. And then core, and then you're moving your thumbs too, and that's good, right?
Yeah.
That's
Let's
a
see
good
what
one.
I got here.
So come on over here and work your thumbs out.
What is this? All right, so I'm trying to find this particular thing that I did here. Maybe it's not there. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I wanted to talk a bit about obesity here, because it was the major topic of it was the topic of my talk. And the one thing I don't know whether I've mentioned it to this group before, I probably have, but I need to re-emphasize it. One of the major treatments for overweight is, if you haven't done it, is the Candida Crunch.
Is the what?
The Candida Crunch, otherwise known as the anti-parasite remedy. If you haven't done that in your life, macrobiotic life, you have to do it. It's
What is it? What is it?
anti-parasite
It's amazing.
remedy. I'll get
Yeah,
to
okay.
that.
Beans and rice.
It's most amazing.
Yeah, you'll lose. If you haven't done it, you see, the thing is that this weighty problem, this is from the OECD member countries with the highest, I don't even know what OECD stands for, Organization of Economically something countries. Mexico, 69.5%. This is the percentage of the population that's over 15.
So Mexico's number one?
69.5.
So the US is no longer number one.
No, number two, 69.2.
Who's that? The
US.
Oh,
Oh, for obesity?
Us.
well.
Is that
I
per
understand-
capita?
I can
Overweight
understand.
and obesity. Both.
69% of the people?
69.2 of the, listen, 69.2 of the people in the country that are over 15
Oh, they're over 15.
have obesity or overweight
That's
in the
Over
United States.
two-thirds, over two-thirds.
Well, it's 70%
And-
virtually.
But what's the criteria for overweight? Body fat index or whatever, you know, what is obesity in this
I think
criteria?
it's 20 pounds.
20 pounds more?
Not obesity.
I think
You
so.
got- No way.
No?
That's
No.
overweight.
Yeah, what's
Well,
what's
look
the
it up. We'll
definition
look
of
at it.
obesity?
What's obesity?
Obesity is when you're like 200 pounds,
No.
300 pounds.
That's
So-
morbid. That's
It's
morbid.
No,
body-
that's just called obesity.
I think obesity's 20 pounds.
Morbid
No,
is when
that's
you're like
overweight.
500 and 600 pounds, the ones they show that have feces
Look
in
it up.
between
Has
their
anybody on
rolls and stuff
Wikipedia?
like that.
Oh, okay,
It's
looking at
gross.
the definition of obesity?
Obesity?
Yes, I am.
On Wikipedia,
I can do that
Oh, I don't know
We'll
whether I have that.
compare.
you gotta get Wikipedia.
And they can't carry their own weight. That's morbid obesity.
See, the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company has a actual tables for what your ideal weight should be depending on your height, and the height is defined as in your shoes wearing your shoes that you walk around in your home, and the weight is also includes what you wear as you walk going around your house.
Your BMI, right? Your body mass index.
Body mass
No.
index, yeah.
No?
No, it's just weight. It says, this is what your weight should be if you're 5'9", if you're a woman and you have a small frame. This is what it should be if you have a medium frame, and this is what you should be if you have a large frame, right?
Mhm.
So, and I went to that site and I checked it out. And of course, when I was in Boston, they said those tables are actually, from a macrobiotic standpoint, 20 pounds too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so now to get through the other countries, there's the top 5 are Mexico, 69.5, United States, 69.2, New Zealand, 64.7, Chile,
Hmm.
64.5, United Kingdom, 62.8.
Wow.
How New Zealand? I thought they were a healthy country.
See, I can't imagine though. I want to know what obesity, what the definition is.
Don't you
because
have Wikipedia?
Six-
Yeah, because I know
69%,
somebody
yeah.
that wasn't that fat, and her doctor, she said she was really shocked when she
yeah.
read her chat and he called her morbidly obese.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of stories where people have gone to the doctor and been called obese, and I thought that they were not obese, they were just overweight. And somebody had told me that 20 pounds is what's considered obese, so I hadn't checked it, but that's what was in my head.
A person has traditionally been considered to be obese if they are more than 20%, I thought it said 20 pounds, 20% over their ideal weight.
Oh,
20%, that's a lot.
I don't know, I mean, other sites may say different.
So
but
the
that's what
ideal
this
weight
one
is the
says.
weight range that's defined by the body mass index.
So if
the
you weigh
BMI.
150 pounds, 20% is 30 pounds, right?
There's a picture of obesity.
I can see it from here. I don't even
I
have to
can
look.
see
Yep, I got the same thing.
You can see that?
I
Right.
see it every day at work.
Oh, yeah.
We all see it every day.
I have a 300 pound.
322 pounds.
Wow.
And he's
322.
he's a BMI of 47 kilograms per meter. And he's 5 feet 10.
But people talk about me at work because I'm so small. They
So,
say too skinny.
You know, and the thing
so how
about
you define BMI is your weight